Welcome to a discussion about the structural geology in geothermal area. I invite you to join this forum to share our knowledge about the structural geology, particularly in geothermal area. As we all know, that the geothermal is a natural resource that has been utilized by human beings, whether it's directly as well as indirect use. The direct use is been used for heating purposes, such as for boiling, for bathroom, and other utilization in traditional way. While the indirect use is, for example, from the heat, using heat from the magma, the groundwater can become a steam, and the steam has been utilized for rotating the turbine in geothermal electric power generation. That's already used for a long time ago also. In the countries having a potential geothermal resource, such as here in Indonesia, it is important to develop the geothermal energy in the future for development of energy. By definition, structural geology is a part of geology that studies the geometry, the shape or the form of the rock in the earth and the earth crust. As we all know, that the rocks consist of igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks that can have a force from the earth, causing this change of the geometry. The different version is a change of the shape and size of rocks due to the force, and the force is basically could be caused by a tectonic and volcanic activity, or combination of these two forces. The objective of this structural geology and geothermal energy is for not only to know the geometry or the shape of the rocks, but also about the dynamics causing by stress and strain that cause deformation of the rock shape. The geologists use a way to provide the structural geology by using measurement tools such as a compass, by measuring the strike and dip of the plane, for example. We know that structural geology has also planes such as layer, sedimentary layer, and fault planes and fracture planes. The planes can be measured, the strike and dip, using a compass. This is the way how to use a compass to measure the strike and dip, and in general we can know the structure, geological structure of the rock in the area. In general, as I mentioned, the structure of the rock in the earth has been changed because of the main cause. The first one is regional tectonics. The plate tectonic dynamic causes regional geological structure, and the second one is by volcanic activities that causes local structural formation, and the third one is a combination between the tectonic and volcanic activities that has changed the geometry of the rock in the earth. The tectonic and volcanism has developed the science about this term. Using the plate tectonic theory, it is believed that the earth crust consists of several plates that make the crust of the earth in the earth here. This is a map from the Google map showing the morphology of the area in the earth. We see there that for example, in the ocean, there is a deep area, while in the other areas also the continent here is also has a height or elevation here. While by seeing this, using this fact, it is developed the plate tectonic theory that believe that Earth consists of plates here. For example, in this picture, we see a Pacific plate over here, Eurasian plate here, Australian Indian Ocean plate over here, and we see here that the oceanic plate in this is shown by deep ocean in this area here, while the Eurasian plate is a continental plate in here, while the Pacific plate is a oceanic plate in this theory here. Here is more detail about the plate tectonics in Indonesia. We see here that Indonesia consists of several plates over here: Eurasian plate, Philippine plates, Indian Ocean plate, and also Caroline plates here. And because of the compression of several plates over here, Indonesia has a potential with the earthquake in the area. We see here also about the fact, the data about the earthquake in Indonesia, particularly in Sumatra Island, because of the subducted oceanic plate under the European plate in this area. We see that several earthquakes has happened in the Sumatra Island here, showing that the movement of the plates has caused an earthquake in the area here. This is a picture showing how the subduction zone in under the Sumatra and Java Island, oceanic plate is moving below the island. Using this, we see about the movement of the rocks in the earth causing the change of geometry. In particular, we can see the volcanic activity here. A volcanic here shows that magma exploded to form lava and so on, while geologically it forms structural geology is, for example, here is form a caldera, crater, and so on. We can see here that the rock layers has changed their position over here, making the geological structure change because of the volcanic activity in this area. This picture also shows how magma flows out, forming lava here, has changed from looking at the cross section of the block diagram over here. We see that the structure of geology in the area has changed because of the volcanic activity. You see here, more activity has changed the geological structure of the area. By definition, the deformation is often referred to as because of strain and stress here. We can learn more about the cause of the forming structure in the earth here. We see here that from the strain, stress, and shear, the structure geology that form can be normal faults over here, for example, and also thrust fault and strike slip fault and so on. Also using this diagram, we can see here that the formation of fault and other structural geology geological structure, we can see here that it is from the formation of fault, and this is formation of a fault because of deformation. Faults, geological structure can be described. The first one is about faults here. There is a fault can be caused by the bending, also buckling. Here we can see the diagram showing how the fault can be formed. In general, fault can consist of anticline and syncline over here, showing the axis and so on. And this is in general, how the faults form by the different forces around rock layer in the earth. We hear that so that how faults can be formed. And this one here is showing a diagram how faults and faults form together in the same area here, showing that originally this is regular layer of rocks. That's because of force, and then it forms a fault, and by the same time it can form also fault over here. So this is a combination of fault and faults. This is also types of faults here, but for more detail, we can also see about the fault here. Faults, plate tectonic, and also volcanism has caused the form of geological geological structure over here. This is a diagram showing how fault can be formed. The first one is the normal fault. The second one could form a thrust fault, and the third one would form strike slip fault. Here. In connection with the geothermal area, we can take a look at an example here. For example, here in North Sumatra area, where there is a Toba Lake here, and also several volcanoes in the area, like Sibayak and Sinabung mountain volcano in the area. We see that actually the caldera is formed because of the volcanic activity here. As we can see in more detail, here is the morphology of the area around Toba Lake over here. We see here that actually there is a connection between the Toba Lake and volcanic area in this area. This is a geological map showing geothermal potential in the area, but we can see the geological structure over here. A lot of faults and fracture in the area here. If we take a look at the genesis of the geological condition in the area, beginning with the simple geological simple deposition, and then there is additional deposition, and also tectonic force, volcanic eruption, and so on, causing the formation of a fault structure over here, and also finally this formed the caldera here. That was also become that's also become the Toba Lake in this area here. In this also example how the geological structure form under the volcanic area, showing the geothermal activity in the area where fluids flows convectionally under the earth in here. And this is also another example about the cross section of the geothermal area over here. For your information, this is a paper or book that can be read, and this one is also a book about geothermal geology, especially in one of the chapter over here. Welcome and have additional knowledge about geothermal structure and geothermal area.